Hello and welcome to Trading Mastermind, where we help you become a better trader through accurate price action trading. In this video, I'll be showing you a Nasdaq price action trading strategy that, when implemented properly, can give you some seriously good results. But before I get started, it is important for me to let you know that trading any market carries a significant level of risk, and you should only invest money you can afford to lose. Please like this video if you found it valuable, comment down below with any questions or suggestions you may have, and subscribe for regular price action trading content. Let's get started with the Nasdaq strategy. Today we are going to be looking at a Nasdaq scalping strategy. It is very simple to follow and it yields extremely good results. This is most likely a strategy you have not tried on Nasdaq, but I can guarantee you when you start to implement this type of trading on Nasdaq specifically, you just can't go wrong. You will definitely find value in this video. So we are specifically looking at Nasdaq, and we are going to be scalping Nasdaq, meaning we are going to be getting in and out fairly quickly. Nasdaq is an extremely volatile instrument to trade, so we do not need big moves to make big profits. That's why we look at scalping it. We can get in and out fairly quickly and yield huge profits. It is important to note though that when you can yield huge profits, you can also have big losses. Price can go either way. At the end of the day, you're not going to win every trade. So it is important to implement good risk management when trading a strategy like this. So let's get started. What we are going to be looking at is a 5-minute candlestick chart. That is where we are going to be finding our setups. And then from there, we're going to be going to the 1-minute chart to actually execute our trades. So let's look at a particular setup that we will be doing for this strategy. So this strategy is a divergence trading strategy. Divergence is one of the main tools we like to use in our trading. It does help yield extremely high profit rates. So you are likely to profit a lot more than you're going to lose. Like I say, losses will always come, of course, but that's why it's important to have good risk management. So for our divergence, we are using an RSI 14 to spot the divergence. And if you don't know what divergence is, this is what we're looking for. We are looking for opposites in our indicator and our price action. So what divergence is a reversal technique. So what we're looking for is specifically price has gone high over here, creating a high on the RSI, as you can see. Price has then come down and made a higher high. However, on our indicator, it has made a lower high. What this suggests is that momentum may be shifting to the opposite direction. Because we have a high and a higher high with our price action, that may indicate to us that we will continue to go up in an uptrend. However, the RSI is giving us our divergence, showing us that we do have a shift in momentum. So we have a high and a lower high. So just to mark this off on the chart, just to make it easier for you to see, we have a high and a higher high, whereas on the indicator we have a high and lower highs. So as you can see, momentum is now making a shift. This is what we are looking for on the 5-minute chart. Once you have this particular setup, a divergent setup on the 5-minute chart, that is when we will go down to our 1-minute chart to actually execute our trade. So let's do that. Now we are on our 1-minute chart, and as you can see, this is where I've marked off our divergence on the 5-minute. So what happened was, this is where we would have spotted our divergence. As price started to move away from this high on the 5-minute, somewhere around here is where we would have now switched over to our 1-minute chart. From there, we are looking for any possible reason to enter a trade based on price action alone. So we are looking for trend changes, candle signals, breaks and retests, anything you can find to enter a trade, you place your trade. This is a scalping strategy. We're trying to get sniper entries. We want to get in and out as quickly as possible because, as you'll see in a minute, there does not need to be a lot of movement in order for us to have large profits with this pair, with this instrument. So in this particular case, we have a clear uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, and this is where we start to see a change in the trend. We have a low, a lower high, another lower low, and this, in this particular scenario, right around here is where we would have clearly seen that we have had a trend change on the 1 minute chart. We then have a pullback with some candle signals. We've got some pins to the upside. And in this sort of area, that is where we will look to take our sell position. And as you can see, with our stop right over there, I mean, it's small. It's a 1 minute chart. That's a 50 pip stop. And very, very quickly and easily, we would have got 40 pips, easily 70, 80, 90 pips. So we have a clear trend change, and that is what signals us to sell. There is not a specific pattern or a specific candle signal that we're looking for. Because this is a scalping strategy, we are looking to get in and out as fast as possible. After seeing the divergence, we are going to take a trade on anything that may indicate to us that we want to sell. More aggressive traders might have even sold here, might have sold right over here after this candlestick pushed down, because already there you can see a clear trend change. After this candlestick, anywhere here you would have looked to sell. No matter where you sold, it would have been good profits. Anywhere from, even if you sold down here, you've got potential of 70, 80, 90 pips profit. So that concludes our first divergent scalping setup for Nasdaq. And here we have a second example of a great setup that we'd look to trade. It's important to note that we're back on the 5 minute chart. The 5 minute chart is where we look for our setups. Then we go down to the 1 minute chart to execute our trade. Okay. So in this scenario, you can clearly see the divergence setup. We have a low. With this low, we then have a lower high, and then a lower low. However, does not create a lower low on our RSI. So let me just mark that off so you can clearly see. We have a low and a lower low, whereas on the indicator we have a low and a higher low. So you can clearly see that momentum. Due to our indicator, momentum may be shifting. All right. So from here, once we found our divergence setup, we then move down to the 1 minute time frame to look where we are going to execute our trade. And now we are down to our 1 minute time frame where we are going to look for a trade execution. So here is where we would have had our, on the 5 minute, it may not look like too much divergence on the 1 minute chart. Just remember, we're looking for divergence on the 5 minute. Then we come to the 1 minute just to look for where we are going to execute our trade. And we're looking for any possible signal to enter a trade here. We want sniper entries because we want to get in and out as quickly as possible. This is a scalping strategy. Okay, so after we've had this low, prices moved up. As you can see, we've got our trend creating lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, and then the low does not get broken. From there, we have a upside move breaking the previous lower high, and then this candle right over here has tested this previous level of resistance, giving us a huge pin to the downside. This is the area I would have personally looked to trade. Some people may say this is aggressive. To me, this looks like a great place to take the trade. You can clearly see a trend change and a beautiful retest candle, a very nice pin to the downside showing that momentum is shifting. However, no matter where you placed your trade after this divergence setup, it would have looked like a profit, would have been a decent profit. Let me just zoom out a little bit so I can emphasize how big of a profit this could have been. So like I say, I would have personally liked to have entered after this candle. Stops would have been around 20 pips. Easily would have hit 30 pips if you were willing to wait. There's potential for 255 pips, but like I say,